Hello, welcome to another episode of the Virtual Ninja Show. My name is Heike, and today I have Miso with me, and we are going to talk about the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint Client Analyzer. This is an awesome episode because it will help you troubleshoot certain issues that you might encounter with Defender for Endpoint. And Miso, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Heike. Hey, everyone. This is Mina Abdelmalek. I am Product Manager for Defender for Endpoint in CXE team here. Yep, and I'm happy to join you today in Ninja Show with Heike to talk about how to troubleshoot MDE. We're going to use different tools, different techniques. Yep.
So, before we get started, what is that tool? Where do people get it? And are there any prerequisites or something that people should know about that tool?
Sure. So when we are talking about tools for Defender for Endpoint troubleshooting, most of them are already built in the operating system. So you can use all the troubleshooting like event viewer, registries, system task, everything. And we provide another tool also. It's called Client Analyzer. This was created by the BG team to make it easier for everyone, for the user, for administrator, to troubleshoot MDE to see what the problem, what is the issue, why I'm not seeing the device on the Defender portal, what's missing, and more. And we keep improving this tool.
Okay. And so that tool basically collects various data points, puts them in a file in a zip folder or something, which is
Yes.
also then very useful for the customer services and support. If someone calls the support because of troubleshooting issues. So this is what they will usually ask you for. And then we will probably put a link in here, but you have to download the client analyzer, or is it coming when you install Defender for Endpoint?
No, you need to download the tool first uh, from our Defender for Endpoint public document. Just all you need to do is just search on Bing Defender for Endpoint Client Analyzer, and this will take you here. The first page will show you how to use the tool with privacy notice. What are the requirements? So just make sure you read this before you use the Client Analyzer tool. Under that, you can see download and run Client Analyzer. Okay, so we have different versions for each operating system. We have two versions for Windows OS and another one for Mac OS and Linux.
So what are some common scenarios when someone should get that client analyzer downloaded and start using it? Like what are some issues they could troubleshoot with it?
There are many use cases you can use a client analyzer for. The most common one will be onboarding. So if I onboarded the device and I don't see it show up on the Defender portal for so long means like it's more than 30 minutes. This is what we
Okay.
define as so long. Um, so maybe there is something wrong and we need to troubleshoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe you can see the device on the Defender portal, but there is a communication issue. So the status of the device is not healthy. Maybe there is a communication problems with the network. So you need to run the client analyzer on the device to check the communications. We have different use cases, maybe for endpoint security management.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we will go over this later.
Okay, cool. So in short, I think we want to summarize for now, or like in these episodes, we will discuss in general an overview of it for everyone. What are the different files? What can you read out of them that the analyzer collects and presents? Onboarding, offboarding, endpoint management settings. And then, of course, once you got, your hands dirty with the tool, you can start looking at our other scenarios yourself as well. Good. So I think let's get started with you downloaded it already, so we don't have to wait for that. And then I think you also run it already to actually get some data. Show us a little bit.
Okay, so it's a zip file, so you need to unzip it first, and you have like three different versions to run here. There is a CMD one, there is a PowerShell, and this is the old client analyzer. So this is the last version we had before. And also, we had a fourth one. This is the remote MDE client analyzer. So if you want to remotely run the client analyzer on another device, you can use this CMD script.
Wow. Okay. So this is actually good to know. So you don't have to run it on the device. You can run it remotely.
Yes, you can.
Perfect. Good to know.
So just for the training purpose here, I ran it locally on the device. So all you need to do is just right click, run it as administrator, and you'll just need to accept the license and agreement, and it will run. Then you will see a new folder created here, MDE Client Analyzer Results. And we group everything in one HTML file. So if I open this, okay, this will show me everything I need to troubleshoot MDE. We highlight the most important settings features in this report.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, in the left side, I see the device name, the operating system, the build number, operating system edition, architecture, etc., etc., the streamline connectivity, and this is very important, if there is any proxy configured on the device. So I see here that there is no proxy server, and MDE has a direct access to the internet to fully work.
Okay, so you're saying this is important because otherwise there could be proxy issues of not being allowed to access, but I could then see them here as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So it's very important to confirm that if the device is communicating to the internet directly or through a proxy.
Wow, I also love that you see the device is not enrolled and has never been enrolled. So even this is an information that you
Yes.
see if it was already onboarded previously and then maybe offboarded or something. Okay, cool.
Yes, this is very important because we are going to use this information to troubleshoot the endpoint security management. If I'm using Defender for Endpoint to control the endpoint security policies directly without Intune, GBO, MECM, or any other management tool, this is very important. We are going to talk about this in details later when we talk about the endpoint security management troubleshooting.
Oh, and I already have so many questions about this. I keep them. Okay, go.
Sure. Okay, here is the most important part. As you know, Defender for Endpoint is combined of two different products in one
Seven.
product.
There's a lot
I
of
would
products in there,
say,
I would say.
of course, Heike, but I'm just talking about the two major components here.
Yes, the AV and the EDR.
Correct. So the antivirus is the built-in engine running on the operating system, and EDR also is the built-in sensor in Windows to send the telemetry. When we troubleshoot 99% of the issue with MDE, we need to make sure that we are running the latest versions of both, especially the Defender. So let's check the AV component details. So I see the Defender AV service status is running. This is very important when you troubleshoot Windows Server, because if you are migrating from a third-party antivirus to MDE, most of the time the Defender AV service feature in the server is not enabled. So you need to make sure that it's running.
So when I have Windows, is this similar to the server, like a Windows server versus a Windows client, that the AV registers itself with Windows? Is this the same on server? So that's why on server it's crucial to look at that because it's not running, versus on a client, they always register.
Yes, it's a good question, Heike. Thanks for asking this. Okay, so it's different in Windows Server than the Windows client. When we talk about Windows client, Windows 10 or 11, we have different stages. Let's talk about Windows 11 and Windows 10 first. we have 3 different stages or running mode for Microsoft Defender. If you have a third-party antivirus installed on the device, and the device is not onboarded to MDE, Windows Defender antivirus will be disabled. This is by default. When you still have the third-party antivirus and you onboard the device to MDE, Defender antivirus will be enabled, but it will be in passive mode. So this is like a middle stage between disabled and being fully active. Automatically, when you remove the third-party antivirus, the Defender will be in active mode automatically. You don't have to do anything. This happens on the back end through the security center engine on the device itself. The difference here between the Windows client and Windows Server, that in Windows servers, the Defender doesn't switch between modes automatically. You have to do it manually. So you can do it like by enabling the feature or running a PowerShell script. So most of the time, 100% I see with customers, like if you have a third-party antivirus, they disable the Windows Defender feature on the Windows Server.
So it's not, but then it's the status that is not running, plus the mode is not active, or is the status still running, but the mode is deactivated, or is it both?
On the Windows Server, if you didn't enable the Windows feature, the Defender feature,
okay, it's not running.
The Defender AV server status will be disabled.
Perfect, thank you.
Then, when you onboard the device to MDE and you enable the feature already on Windows Server, note that Defender doesn't switch the mode automatically. So, if it's enabled, it will not go to passive mode automatically. You have to do this by running a script to add a registry. So, at the end of the day, it's a registry. So, you can add the registry by yourself, or you can run the PowerShell script to add the registry to force Defender to be in passive mode in Windows Server. And at the end, when you remove the third-party antivirus, you need to switch again this registry to switch the Defender from passive to active.
Wow, okay. So out there, make sure you don't forget this.
Yep. Okay, so going back to the details, I see the Windows Security Health Service status. Defender AV mode is active. So we said, okay, it's either disabled, passive, or active. Network inspection is running. Network inspection driver is running. The Defender AV platform version. This is very, very important. 99% of the troubleshooting issues because of running an outdated engine version.
How does it happen? Like an engine, do they have to? I don't think you have to go and download it every other week manually and install it. It's coming automatically to the clients, right?
Yes, it's coming automatically to the client once a month, and we ship this with the Windows update on Patch Tuesday. And as you see here, that the 418 doesn't change. There is a pattern in these numbers. And 24, this is the year 2024, and 09, this stands for the month. So the last supported version we have right now is in 2024 in September. Okay. You're going to ask me now, we are in September and we ship this every month. Why we don't have January 2025? So it should be 2501.
We probably had a break.
This is exactly what we did. So these were like internal freezing. We didn't ship the engine version in October and November, and normally we don't ship in December every year because this is the holidays. So we need to make sure that nobody goes to an issue or a problem during the holidays. Maybe the antivirus engine will break something in the new update. So we don't ever ship a new version in December. and the version for January right now, it's not published yet. We are just testing it, and it will be coming soon. It's very important when you troubleshoot something or you contact Microsoft support, you should have at least 2 old month version. Meaning that if I'm contacting support, the last version I should have to get the support is 2407.
07. Okay. So
Yes.
July, August,
Yes.
September.
So we support -2. So the version -2. We are in September. So the latest we support is July.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Okay. The Defender AV Security Intelligence version. This is our security intelligence update. This happens many times a day. So we keep updating our intelligence database with the new threat so the antivirus can learn about it and take the action very quick locally on the device. It doesn't need to send it to the cloud, get the decision, analyze it on the cloud. So the antivirus on the device can block it right away.
Okay, cool.
Then the Defender AV engine version. You can ask me what the difference between the engine and the platform.
They have the same number.
It's the same number, but you see that's 11 and 418 are not the same.
Kind of the same. They end with the same.
Yeah, it's ends with the same because they are shipped on the same day. They are shipped together.
Okay. But does it happen that you have an outdated engine version, but an updated platform version, or an updated platform version and an outdated engine version, or is that can't happen?
No, it's one package.
Okay.
So we ship them together. But the engine is part of the platform. So just think about it. It's okay. The antivirus platform has everything, and the engine is part of the platform.
Okay. I see that a lot when I look at the what's new in Windows Defender for Linux. They talk a lot about the engine versions.
Yes.
Less so. Okay.
Okay. So then we check if the temper protection is enabled or not. This, in my case, it's not enabled. I should have. The Defender temper protection source. You can see here where the temper protection is coming from. We have different ways. If it's coming from a policy, if it's coming from Intune, if it's a white tenant setting on the Defender portal, then you see if Defender temper protection exclusion enabled, and the network protection mode, if it's enabled or not. So log modes, it's mean it's on audit mode. So let's talk about the EDR component details. So on the right side here, you see the device ID. This is the device ID generated on the Defender portal. If I go to the same device here, so this device is Miso Co-Management 11. If I go back to the Defender portal, and I can see that the device ID here is the same.
Okay, cool.
The organization ID?
Is the tenant ID?
No. It's different. So the organization ID is not the tenant ID. Tenant ID is the Microsoft Azure tenant in general. Organization ID is the Microsoft 365 Defender organization ID. This is where we store the data for Microsoft 365 Defender. So
okay, I thought tenant was my Defender tenant.
Oh, okay.
You think
Okay.
the whole okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it's good to clarify, because if someone asked for a tenant ID, I would go give this, and then you are asking for a different tenant ID. So good. Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very important for the customer. It's when they open a support ticket, they would need to provide both. What is the tenant ID, the Azure tenant ID, and the organization ID, especially in troubleshooting at the backend.
Got it.
Okay. I see the Sense version. This is the EDR version. The Sense configuration version. This is related to the endpoint security management. So then the data track QTC service, this is running to collect the EDR components as well, the EDR telemetry data. The anti-spoofing capability deployed. This is a white tenant feature you enable from the Defender portal to make sure there is no anti-spoofing communication to the device. The machine ID is the same, the device ID. Then, okay, we check the same thing. If there is any proxy configured between the device and the internet. So I see here is direct access. The device data center location. This is very important for the customer, especially the customer in Europe. They need to make sure that their data is stored in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
The easiest way to check this, let's run the client analyzer. And we can see here, okay, if it's US or Europe, and it depends on the organization ID. So you have only one organization ID, and your onboarding package has this organization ID. So if you use the same script, the same onboarding script on all your devices, you don't need to
They
check.
should all be going to the
Yes,
same.
you don't need to check the data location for each device. This organization ID is stored in US. That's it.
Cool.
The device onboarded via streamline connectivity. This is very important in troubleshooting right now because we have two different methods out of this time of recording. We have the traditional way, the traditional onboarding package. This is the old onboarding script. And the old way require a list of many URLs and IPs for Defender for Endpoint to work.
Oh, yes. Way too many.
Yes, but this was very, very hard for the customers, especially for the customer use Defender behind firewall or proxy to whitelist all of those. So
yeah,
we came up with the streamline connectivity. So we shortened like tens of URLs to about like 4 or 5 URLs right now. And we are working on consolidating them more and more so you can have only one URL. So when you troubleshoot a problem or onboarding problem, maybe you are not using the streamline connectivity because you didn't whitelist all the list of URLs in your firewall or proxy. So maybe instead of like opening a support ticket or just submit a change request in your network to whitelist all those URLs, you can switch to streamline connectivity, and that's all. So let me show you this. So right here on the Defender portal, if I go to settings and go to endpoints and scroll down to onboarding, okay, in the connectivity type here.
I see it. This is so easy. You just drop
Yes.
down.
Yeah, I can see which one I want. The standard is the legacy one, the old one.
So why is this the standard, and why wouldn't everybody just go with the streamlined?
Because this is a new feature and we cannot take the old one right away from the customer. We have to give you the option to use both until you are fully sure to move
should
the
be
streamline.
streamlined. I know.
The default is streamlined, and this is a good question, Heike, because we have another option here in advanced features. You can set the default onboarding to streamline. So
there you go.
Here, okay. Default to streamline connectivity when onboarding devices in Defender portal.
There you go. See,
yeah,
it's a toggle. Love it.
We highly recommend customer to use streamline connectivity. Okay, so then the sense service status is running. The sense service start type is automatic. Okay,
cool.
This is very important because maybe we ran the onboarding package, but it's not working yet. We don't see the device on the Defender portal, but at the same time, because the sense service is not running. There is another way to check this as well. So if I open the CMD and run this, SCQC sense, I can see here that sense service is auto start. I see here the service auto start is automatic. 2 means it's automatic, it's working. There is no errors. I can see the path here, MS Sense, and the display name. That's Microsoft Defender Advanced Threat Protection Services. So this is everything related to Sense. This is the EDR component. I can check also for the antivirus part. And this is very important when you troubleshoot Windows Server, because if you remember, Windows Server might be disabled. So I can run SCQC when defend. And I see the same thing. Okay, its old start is working. This is the service, the Defender engine running, msmbeng.exe. I see the version here is 2409, and everything is working as expected.
Cool. So this is basically like the client analyzer HTML file is giving you an overview of all the important things that should be running, information that you need about the name, the device ID or version numbers. And if one of this is not so green, I don't know, does it change color? Like if the
Yes.
service status is not active, it goes from green to black, or is it red?
It's red. It's green or red.
Okay, so it means things that are red, you should be worried about.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a good question. If it's red, this means there is something wrong, and I need to know what exactly is wrong. And if I scroll down here, I see the list of all the events and all the results the PowerShell script of MDE, a client analyzer, did. So if I have any problems
Nice.
with one of those, it will be highlighted here. Maybe I am running an old version of the AV. And this is a good question also, because if I'm running like an old version, it's not too old version, it will be in yellow, not red.
Wow, even the tool shows you, sorry, you are like more than -2.
Yes, if it's more than -2, it will be in yellow. So it will be highlighted here that you are running an outdated version of Windows Defender engine, and it will be highlighted here. Also, if there is anything wrong with the internet communication between MDE and the internet, it will be listed here. So if I don't see the device show up on the Defender portal, you need to check the detailed results here in Client Analyzer, because this will highlight for you what is missing.
What is it? Like, what could be missing?
If you didn't whitelist any of the URLs required for MDE to communicate to the internet, maybe you are running an SSL inspection on the MDE traffic, so we don't recommend this. Or maybe there is any other issue. I have seen that many customers moving from a third-party antivirus to Defender, they disabled the antivirus in the Windows client for maybe like 3 or 4 years, for so long. When you start onboarding MDE, the version is too old and it's not supported. So this is another reason the device is not onboarded to MDE. So you need to update the version first.
Okay.
Usually also, because the Defender antivirus in this case was in disabled mode, it didn't get the update. And some customer use WSUS to push the updates, and they exclude the Defender engine update from the Windows update package. So it's not
because
getting
they
update.
didn't use it.
Yes.
Which is also a good reminder for everyone. If you run a third-party AV, do not disable it. Keep it in non-active. Well, how is it called?
The passive mode or disable?
In passive mode, thank you, yes.
Yes.
So do not disable. Keep it. There's various reasons for it.
Yes. So
cool.
As you can see here, that this is all the test connections we have. And you can tell from here what are the required services MDE needs to connect to the internet to work as expected. And the Defender also cloud services completed successfully. The current network connection is not metered, so we have the full bandwidth needed for Defender for Endpoint to work. The certificate validation here, and the sensor on the device BBL protected as expected. So everything looks good.
This is awesome. Okay, wow, Misa, that was a lot. And it's just one page right now. And we will actually now go into troubleshooting onboarding issues. So for everyone who wants to know about these details, go check out the next episode. Misa, for now, thank you so much for being my expert on today's show. And we will talk soon again. Bye.